It's scarlet fever. The 3 youngest have all come down with it to-day. If they were my children, I should be in a perfect worry and flurry. Indeed, I am as it is. But Auntie is as bright and cheerful as ever. She flies from one to another, and keeps up their spirits with her own gaiety. I am mortified to find that at such a time as this I can think of myself, and that I find it irksome to be shut up in sick rooms, instead of walking, driving, visiting, and the like. But, as Dr. Cabot says, I can now choose to imitate my master, who spent his whole life in doing good, and I do hope, too, to be of some little use to Auntie, after her kindness to me. May 1. The doctor says the children are doing as well as could be expected. He made a short visit this morning, as it is Sunday. If I had ever seen him before, I should say I had some unpleasant association with him. I wonder Auntie employs such a great clumsy man. But she says he is good, and very skilful. I wish I did not take such violent likes and dislikes to people. I want my religion to change me in every respect. May 2. Oh, I know now! This is the very who was so rude at Sunday school, and afterwards made such a nice address to the children. Well, he may know how to speak in public, but I am sure he doesn't in private. I never knew such a shut-up man. May 4. I have my hands as full as they can hold. The children have got so fond of me, and one or the other is in my lap nearly all the time. I sing to them, tell them stories, build block houses, and relieve Auntie all I can. Dull and poky as the doctor is, I am not afraid of him, for he never notices anything I say or do, and while he is holding solemn consultations with Auntie in one corner, I can sing and talk all sorts of nonsense to my little pets in mine. What fearful black eyes he has, and what masses of black hair! This busy life quite suits me now I have got used to it, and it sweetens every bit of work to think that I am doing it in humble, far off, yet real imitation of Jesus. I am indeed really and truly happy. May 14. It is now 2 weeks since little Raymond was taken sick, and I have lived in the nursery all the time, though Auntie has tried to make me go out. Little Emma was taken down to-day. Though she has been kept on the 3rd floor, all the time I feel dreadful myself. But this hard, cold doctor of Auntie's is so taken up with the children that he never so much as looks at me. I have been in a perfect shiver all day, but these merciless little folk call for stories as eagerly as ever. Well, let me be a comfort to them if I can. I hate selfishness more and more, and am shocked to see how selfish I have been. May 15. I was in a burning fever all night, and my head ached, and my throat was and is very sore. If I knew I was going to die, I would burn up this journal first. I would not have anyone see it for the world. May 24. Dr. Elliott asked me on Sunday morning, a week ago, if I still felt well. For answer I behaved like a goose, and burst out crying. Auntie looked more anxious than I have seen her look yet, and reproached herself for having allowed me to be with the children. She took me by one elbow, and the doctor by the other, and they marched me off to my own room, where I was put through the usual routine on such occasions, and then ordered to bed. I fell asleep immediately, and slept all day. The doctor came to see me in the evening, and made a short, stiff little visit, gave me a powder, and said he thought I should soon be better. I had 2 such visits from him the next day, when I began to feel quite like myself again, and in spite of his grave, staid deportment, could not help letting my good spirits run away with me in a style that evidently shocked him. He says Persons nursing scarlet fever often have such little attacks as mine. Indeed, every one of the servants have had a sore throat and headache. May 25. This morning, just as the doctor shuffled in on his big feet, it came over me how ridiculously I must have looked the day I was taken sick, being walked off between Auntie and himself, crying like a baby. I burst out laughing, and no consideration I could make to myself would stop me. I pinched myself, asked myself how I should feel if one of the children should die, and used other kindred devices, all to no purpose. At last the doctor, gravity personified as he is, joined in, though not knowing in the least what he was laughing at. Then he said: "After this, I suppose, I shall have to pronounce you convalescent." "Oh, no!" I cried. "I am very sick indeed." "It looks like it, to be sure," said Auntie. "I suppose this will be your last visit, Dr. Elliott," I went on, "and I am glad of it. After the way I behaved the day I was taken sick, I have been ashamed to look you in the face. But I feel it dreadfully." He made no answer whatever. I don't suppose he would speak a little flattering word by way of putting one in good humour with one's self for the whole world. June 1. We are all as well as ever, but the doctor keeps some of the children still confined to the house, for fear of bad consequences following the fever. He visits them twice a day for the same reason, or at least under that pretence, but I really believe he comes because he has got the habit of coming, and because he admires Auntie so much. She has a real affection for him, and is continually asking me if I don't like this and that quality in him, which I can't see at all. We begin to drive out again. The weather is very warm, but I feel perfectly well. June 2. After the children's dinner today, I took care of them while the nurse got hers and Auntie went to lie down, as she is all tired out. We were all full of life and fun, and some of the little ones wanted me to play a play of their own invention, which was to lie down on the floor, cover my face with a handkerchief, and make believe I was dead. They were to gather about me, and I was suddenly to come to life and jump up and try to catch them as they all ran scampering and screaming about. We had played in this interesting way for some time, and my hair, which I keep in nice order nowadays, was pulled down and flying every way, when in marched the doctor. I started up and came to life quickly enough when I heard his step, looking red and angry, no doubt. "I think you might have knocked, Dr. Elliott," I said, with much displeasure. "I ask your pardon. I knocked several times," he returned. "I need hardly ask how my little patients are." "No," I replied, still ruffled, and making desperate efforts to get my hair into some sort of order. "They are as well as possible." "I came a little earlier than usual today," he went on, "because I am called to visit my uncle, Dr. Cabot, who is in a very critical state of health." "Dr. Cabot!" I repeated, bursting into tears. "Compose yourself, I entreat," he said. "I hope that I may be able to relieve him. At all events, if you let him die, it will break my heart," I cried passionately. "Don't wait another moment. Go this instant." "I cannot go this instant," he replied. "The boat does not leave until 4 o'clock. And if I may be allowed, as a physician, to say one word, that my brief acquaintance hardly justifies, I do wish to warn you that, unless you acquire more self-control—" "Oh, I know that I have a quick temper, and that I spoke very rudely to you just now," I interrupted, not a little startled by the seriousness of his manner. "I did not refer to your temper," he said. "I mean your whole passionate nature, your vehement loves and hates, your ecstasies and your despondencies, your disposition to throw yourself headlong into whatever interests you." "I would rather have too little self-control," I retorted resentfully, "than to be as cold as a stone and as hard as a rock, and a